What is up? And it is Triple M, and I'm here with a brand new video to talk about my thoughts on different things that are going on in the NBA. I know some of you may be wondering why I'm wearing a Chicago Bulls shirt when I say the Lakers, because I have three different kind of teams. I have my all-time team, my air team, and my right now team. So if you want to know, it's the Los Angeles Lakers for my all-time. My air team is the Chicago Bulls, and my now team is the Los Angeles Lakers. But anywho, let's go ahead and get into business, as I am in beautiful Denver, Colorado. Talk about the subject today. LeBron James, great player, great man with great skill. You know, drafted in 2003, four-time MVP winner, three-time NBA champion, and could break the record for all-time scoring leader. When you look at a man like LeBron James, you ask the question, how? Right? You say he's this great, he's, kept it up for this long. How is he able to do it? I think one word, and that's perseverance. We've seen that through his whole career. We've seen him persevere over leaving Cleveland and all the bad hate he got. We've seen him persevere back from, the deficit that they were in versus the Warriors. We've seen him persevere over a lot of things in his career. So it's no question that he can do it. You know what I mean? I think that with everything that he's been able to do, the most crazy thing, like I said, is that deficit that he was able to come back from. It was just like, man, how? But let's start at the beginning of LeBron's career. So, like I said, he comes into Cleveland, born in Akron, Ohio. You know, um, we see that it means a lot because that's his hometown team. You know what I mean? And a lot of players dream of playing for a hometown team. So you go on and you say, okay, this guy comes in, nobody's ever seen anything like him. He was big, but he could do all these different things. So he's in Cleveland, he's doing his thing, he's going on, he's dominating, he's destroying. And as he goes on, you know, he goes to do things that we didn't think were possible. We saw the way he dunked, the flair, everything that he had. And just in Cleveland, right? So, and let me go back real quick. Let me say that the entire 2003 draft class was ridiculous. We saw Carmelo, we saw Dwayne Wade, we saw LeBron James. Little to know that them two would be playing together. So, we seen these guys and we were like, okay, they're gonna change organizations. You know what I mean? So now you look at certain players like, like LeBron James, who's done things that are just ridiculous and has the potential to do it even greater. We know that definitely. The first thing is, like I said, in Cleveland, just getting the feel for everything and starting to make a name for himself. So he's shown that he has the potential to be great, but can he win the championships? As you look at a player like when Shaq first came in, they was just all about the dominance. But after a while, that dominance fades away, and you say, well, can he win championships? Same thing with Michael Jordan. It took Michael a long time. Understand that he was in the NBA in the 80s, but he couldn't get the job done. We saw that when he did come in the 90s, that's just when he was in his prime, and that's just when he did what he did. So I think all players have that opportunity. But when you look at a player like LeBron James, who's done all that he's done, you ask a simple question. Okay, what's next for him? Well, let's start at the beginning. Like I say, you know, 2003 drafted in Cleveland, doing the thing, getting his grounding, all the different things. Now we're in, now as he's in Cleveland, he's doing everything that he needs to do to show. Like I said, they asked that one question: can you get a championship? So let's stop right here. I believe LeBron was in that position where it was like, you'll, as an NBA player, you never know if you're going to get that NBA championship, but you always strive to get there. If you have the opportunity to get that championship, you never turn it down. You always say, okay, I got to take this chance just to get that one, just to get that one. Because if people say, well, yeah, he was great, but he never had the championship, then that that's your reputation. So I think he just needed that one championship to solidify himself in certain areas, right? So to compare real quick, if you look at a player like Russell Westbrook, and then you look at a player like Kenny the Jet Smith, both good players, but would you put Kenny the Jet Smith over Russell Westbrook? Leave a comment. Me, no, because we see what Russell can do. I mean, Mr. Triple Double. So we know he is incredible, but at the same time, when you look at a player like Russell and you say, well, he has no rings, but Kenny does. So then you're stuck because you're like, who do you put over who when you're talking about which category, right? So that's the whole thing. Um, with LeBron, I think that here was the thing with LeBron. He didn't want to be one of the players who said, well, yeah, he was great, but he never won a championship. You look at a player like Charles Barkley, number one example. He was a great player, but he never got a championship. So it really hurts because as a player, you're like, man, I just couldn't get the job done. I just couldn't do it. I think that was the biggest thing for LeBron is that he didn't want to be one of the players who said, "Yeah, you were a great player. You may have been able to break the record for all time scoring leader. You may have been able to do this, that, and the other, but you never got a ring. So are you really one of the greatest players of all time? Understand that all the greatest players of all time at least have rings. So we know that if you want to be in that conversation, you got to get rings. Now, we're in a position where you're looking at LeBron and you're like, okay, what are you going to do next? Right? So he goes to Miami. A lot of hate he got off going to Miami. A lot of hate. People hated him for going to Miami. I personally didn't because it was a smart move. Once again, you just need to prove that you can get that NBA championship. So he makes all these promises that they're going to get this many, in a funny way. But we did expect them to get a couple, maybe four. Only got two. Okay. Still got championships. Not as many as we wanted, but we still got championships. Okay, that's cool. So then we see that they go on, and they barely got their two championships. Let me make that correct. Barely did. There were a lot of moments in there, in the whole series where we just like, are they gonna get it or not? And this was riding on LeBron's career. LeBron, I think, has put his career up more than any other NBA player. Personally, he always is putting his career up his legacy. Because if he doesn't live up to certain things, they'll look at him and they'll say, man, that's going to downplay your career for the rest of your life. If he didn't win a championship in Miami, you left Cleveland to go to Miami and didn't even get a championship. So I think even now, the fact that he went to Miami and only got two, still, people are like, come on, man, you went with the big three team. And you ask the question, why didn't they get more? I mean, the staff was great. The coaching staff was great. The players were great. Everything just worked, but they couldn't get the job done. Even the fans were great. So it's hard. It's really hard to say what went wrong. I think personally, they just got a little too confident. They were confident that they were going in and they were going to win, and you shouldn't never be that confident. And I think that they did play, but they didn't play to the full extent because they knew, LeBron's going to get this much, Dwayne's going to get this much, Bosh is going to get this much. We didn't even got to worry about that. And I think that they should have because that's really what affected them. But anywho, you look at teams and you say, okay, all these different teams have their moment to shine. LeBron tried to do that with Cleveland. It didn't work. But he went to Miami and he did. He got them two championships. I'm sure a lot of stress was removed off of him. Then he put himself in another stressful position. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Keeps on putting himself in stressful places. So we see him not only have to do that in Miami, now he goes back to Cleveland. This was I think, one of the biggest sports moves ever. And For him to go back to Miami, he could have just said, I'm coming back home. But no, he said, I'm coming back home and I'm bringing one back. That's what he said. For him to go there and to do it against the Warriors, which some claim to be the greatest team of all time, for him to be able to go there and do it was remarkable. Because if he didn't, once again, his career would have been looked at differently. Like, man, you came to Cleveland, you didn't keep your word, you didn't keep your promises. Yes, we know it was hard, but do you know who you are? So that was a big thing. And when he won that one, a lot of people didn't even think he was gonna get that one. You know, as a fan, you just say he's never gonna get one. That's what you're saying because you think, look at the Golden State Warriors. That's what you're thinking. You say he's never gonna get one. After he got that one, there weren't a lot of people who said, "Can he get two?" Weren't, because they knew how hard it was to get there. We saw what he did. He didn't need to prove himself after that. We were like, "Oh my gosh, this guy is gonna be the greatest player of all time if he keeps, this route." So we saw what he did there, and then you go on and you say, "Okay, where's his next stop?" LA. Now I'm gonna say this right now. Y'all might think it's a biased opinion. It's not a biased opinion. It's just what I think. About 65% of the greatest players of all time will play for LA. Why? Because it's a good market. It's a good branch. We have championships. I mean, we have the flair, everything that you think. So you can come to LA and get a championship, man. You automatically are, the bomb. We saw Gary Payton. He would play for LA. Oh, we have. I mean, all these players play for LA, and you're just like, okay. So that's that. All great players. Will Chamberlain, Jerry West. I mean, the list goes on of the great players that played for LA. But neither here nor there. I knew LeBron was coming to LA when I told my friends. They didn't believe me, but yeah, he did. He came to LA and he did what he had to do. He made a decision. I believe that it was easier for him to leave Cleveland this time because he got the job done. What more? What more do you want? Comes to LA, sorry. And now he's in a position in this moment where it's like, okay, can you get the ring or not? Because if you couldn't win with three different teams and do what you have done, you will truly be depicted as one of the greatest players of all time, if not the greatest player of all time. And right now, that's the question. Is, can he get the ring in LA? I think he can because of the team that he has. I believe he can. I tell you right now, LA needs a better coach. In full, personally. But we just gotta focus on getting the ring. And the Lakers are a championship or bust. They don't get that ring, they want a now ring. Some teams prepare for the future. We saw the Bulls do that. They prepare for the future. They got Michael Jordan, said, we got to build around this guy because I know in the future we're going to get rings. Is it smarter to prepare for the future or to prepare for the now? Leave a comment down below. So, what is smarter? Who's to say? But we need championships. LeBron can't get the job done. If he does it, he will, just be great because he's won one with Miami, won one with Cleveland. Not only with Cleveland, but did it basically himself. And then goes and wins one with the Lakers. He will be depicted as one of the greatest of all time. Like I said, if not the greatest. So, much respect to LeBron. Great, great, great player. Hopefully one day I can meet him. But, like, I say, he has a lot. He has a lot of things that he has to do, and he has a whole lot of things that he can put in his career. If he can do these things, we're gonna be looking back at him and saying, "Man, you're great." So that's my thoughts. If you got any thoughts, leave them down in the comment section. Like and subscribe, and yeah, what do you think about LeBron and his career? And do you think he can get another ring right now? So, stay blessed. Peace.